Little Warfield and Grand. One of the coolest names of all boot companies, for sure. Pretty sweet name. Unboxing of I don't know what, and I honestly don't know a lot about Warfield and Grand. I've seen their name, I've seen them around a little bit, but they look like they specialize in more, like fancier, more dress style footwear, which is a little bit of a weak spot in my understanding and knowledge base when it comes to the footwear world. So it's fun to be able to kind of dig into some of these brands. But it looks like they make a lot of loafers, the slip-ons, the Oxfords, casual stuff. What's casual? They have like little sneakers. They got a pretty good collection of boots. Kind of that trench boot looks like the Alden Indy, some like hand-dyed leather. Hand-dyed leather is hit and miss to me. Like I like certain hand-dyed leather if it looks like it's done professionally and it looks really good. But sometimes it just looks really cheap. It reminds me of like TJ Maxx boots. And so it's another one of those things where it started off initially with hand dyeing leather and making hand dressing and all this stuff was like a sign of high quality stuff. And then technology got to a point where they could just replicate that with like fake leather, $10 Amazon boots, and they replicate it so well that a lot of people associate that hand, maybe not a lot, but at least for me, sometimes I associate that look with the Amazon boots, the cheap boots. Ooh, I do like this boot right here. I don't know, I can't remember what we requested, but that Rockford is nice. I've been wanting to do the Great British Boot Off where we review all of the top British boot companies and see who reigns supreme in a very Great British Bake Off way. So don't steal my idea. It's gonna happen eventually. The little Ruxin looks like kind of like an Iron Ranger. It's a nice little pattern. And this video is brought to you by our Rose Anvil wallets, because I think we actually make some really cool products that you guys really appreciate. Because if you didn't know, the reason I know so much about leather is I've been making handmade leather goods for the last 8 to 9 years. And like I said, I think we make some of the best wallets in the world. Obviously I'm biased, but let me tell you why I think they're some of the best in the world. First thing is we hand stitch every single one of our wallets, and we use a saddle stitching technique, which has been used to make saddles for hundreds of years. And the reason they do this is it's significantly stronger than a sewing machine, because sewing machines loop the thread together, or a saddle stitch, you have one thread, 2 needles, and you're basically weaving the thread throughout the wallet or the saddle. It also allows us to use a really thick thread. It's literally 1 millimeter thick, and it's significantly more labor intensive. And all of our wallets are made from what, in my opinion, is the best vegetable tan leather made in the United States, which is Wicked and Craig, because this stuff is strong, it ages beautifully, and it smells so good. You even get a little hand-stitched card with Addie's hand signature on there, because we make these all day, every day in this shop by hand, and it helps support this business, it helps support the channel. So thank you guys for considering these wallets and continue to support this channel. Who are they though? Give us the brand details. Warfield and Grand combines a modern American aesthetic with European production methods. Our specialty is beautiful footwear built with a passion for products and a commitment to craftsmanship. We use superior components and construction methods to build a better shoe for discerning customers. Crafting a great shoe takes time, as do the traditional European manufacturing techniques we use in our factory. This slow process gives each pair of shoe an additional attention and ensures a high standard of quality. Our hand-burnished leathers display great depth of color, the result of a 3-step finishing process. All of our leather outsole shoes and boots use Blake stitch construction, a manufacturing technique known as the backbone of Italian shoemaking industry. Let's check out their social following. They're so small. Maybe I haven't heard of them. 500 followers. That's cool. So very small. I wish sometimes these really small companies, I'm like, lean into the small. Like I want to know like how small you are, how long you've been around, because I like to support small brands. People like supporting small brands, and it seems like it's getting more and more popular as a lot of consumers are realizing that they're getting screwed over by these big companies, these big corporations. Everyone's feeling that disparity in like these big tech companies and all the people making all that money and these big corporate overlords versus the average person that's like trying to eke out a living, and they're just getting taken advantage of by all these giant corporations. And so people have started shifting towards supporting small businesses, which I love because I love small production. I have a small business. I like what small businesses have to do in order to stake their claim. They've got to really deliver. They've got to offer something really unique, something that solves a problem to break into an industry as old as humans. And that's why I like highlight them. It's just fun. Okay, what are we unboxing with today? I just grabbed a couple Dimcos because I like these little knives. This is the one I carry personally. It's the little smoke scales. I swapped out the blade for more of this blunt tip. The thing I like about these Dimcos is the little action here. because it's not locked. You can still like flick it out. But to release it, it's like a little trigger on the back. Just drops it down. So if you want like a really easy release, you just give that a little bit of pressure. It's fun. And it's just unique. You still open it with the thumb. You still can just fling it open, mostly. They have titanium, they've got like all these cool materials. It's just a nice little pocket knife. I'll open it with my personal one, my smoke scale one. So let's get to it. An elastic band. Let it go. Warfield and Grand. Okay, let's do it. See what they actually sent me. Should spoil it. They sent me, doesn't mean anything to me, MMXXIV. What is that in Roman numerals? 2024. Makes sense. Got 10.5 though, in cognac. I don't know what it is. Let's get it. Let's figure it out. Nice little duster bag that I've never ever used once in my entire life in any companies. Anyway, enough rambling. Ooh, that's a nice looking little boot. Little cap toe. Let's see, it's got this other one too. Oh, it's got a little cap collar too. How much is this boot? What is this boot? What are the specs on this thing? I don't know, maybe it's an unreleased model, but it's definitely the Wheaton with a toe cap and speed hooks. The rest of the no, it's pretty different. It doesn't have a counter. The Wheaton doesn't have a counter, and it doesn't have a toe cap, and it doesn't have speed hooks. I really kind of dig their woodland boot. It's kind of iron boot-esque, but more dressy. How much did it retail for? Well, it looks like right now these are on sale for 130 bucks. Retails from anywhere from like 180 to 225. Looks like for most of their products. It's pretty affordable. Is it a full leather heel sack? It looks like it. Yeah, that's definitely leather. That's leather. Full leather midsole. Nice little top lift and a half sole. Leather welt. I like these little split reverse welts too. I think they look really classy. I do not like the welt type that's on. It's on a few boots. And the reason I don't like it is because it's on a few boots, especially for a dressy boot. It's the same welt that White's uses on their more affordable Goodyear welts and stuff. Which I don't mind this welt on a work boot or more affordable boot, but throwing that thing on a $600 to $1,000 boot drives me nuts. Just because it's a spool welt and it's like usually undyed and I don't know. Works on this. I don't like it on my dress boots. This is what I like on my dress boots. So I think this is a really classy little welt. Well done too, very precise stitching. And very tight stitching. That stitch density is like half of like work boots. Padded collar. Padded collars are hit and miss for me, depends on the boot. I usually err on the side of not getting a padded collar. Fortunately, they have plenty of options of non-padded collars. I wonder why they sent me a boot they don't have on their website. Okay, what about the leather? What we got going on in here? So this is that hand-dyed leather I was telling you about. Like, this looks pretty decent, you know. This doesn't look cheap to me. I think mostly because it's not overly done. It just has a little bit of that patina look to it. It looks pretty thin. It looks probably around sneaker thickness. I can kind of get my caliper in on the tongue, but that doesn't really tell us how thick it actually is because sometimes the tongues are thinner. But yeah, right around 1 millimeter for the tongue. So I'm guessing the actual thickness of the leather is closer to anywhere between 1 and 1.5. The lining leather is probably 1 millimeter. I wonder if I can get my caliper in all the way. So we've got a total thickness of 2.8. So if the lining is like 1 and a 1.2. I mean, yeah, so it's probably like 1.5 millimeters thick, the leather. Is this collar leather? It's gotta be, right? Yeah, it looks like it's leather. And the lining looks like a nice nubuck lining. Where's it made? In China. Made in China. And what else we got going on here? Removable insole. Nice. I thought it said it was dual density, but I only see one density in here. Leather topped, nice little camel print. That's what I'm talking about. Underneath, we've got, oh nice, full length. Oh, this is cool actually. So it comes with an insole for those that want lots of squish. If you don't like the squish, they still line this with a half sock liner, and there's a little bit of foam underneath. And then the rest on your forefoot is just the leather insole. And it looks like it's a nice full grain veg tan leather insole. So that's cool. You can run it with or without. That's pretty smart. You can see the Blake stitch on the inside. So it's definitely Blake stitch. This Goodyear welt's not real. Which dress boots, it doesn't bother me nearly as much. And if it's still built in a good way and they have a fake Goodyear welt, I'm like, you get the pass. But if it's just like really terribly cemented and they're selling it for like a lot of money, then I'm like, get that out of here. Like, get that fake weld out. Not bad. Pretty cool little boot for $200. Pretty high quality. This has got to be close to Beckett and Simonon. How much do their boots cost? We worked with them a couple times, reviewed their boots. They're good quality, like dress boots for the price. Yeah, so Beckett Simonon has similar boots, $260-ish, $280, or they're all $260. So a little bit cheaper than Beckett Simonon. Beckett Simonon, where are theirs made? Okay, so Beckett Simonon is made in Bogota, Colombia. So China, Colombia, a little bit cheaper, a little more expensive, well-known brand, small brand. And that's what I was talking about. Like some of these brands, they have to go cheaper. They have to do something. Got to do something to dissuade people from going with the known brands and coming to them with some sort of competitive advantage or whatever. And so price is clearly one of them because this is a really good boot for $200. All leather construction for $200. Pretty crazy. So I think let's try them on. I think that's everything. Pretty impressive, honestly, though. For $200 and you get them on sale for under $200. Full leather construction for a dress boot. Pretty good. What am I wearing? Russell moccasins. These little safaris. They don't even make them anymore. They're a nice little putt around boot when I'm doing this all day. It's like 7 o'clock and I'm exhausted. And so when I'm trying boots on and off all the time, I just end up in the Russells. So let's do it. Okay, I gotta untie them. I should be into dress shoes because dress shoes are made a lot smaller and tighter, and it happens to fit my feet and ankles a lot better. Yeah, that's a good thumb. That fits pretty good. So this is 10.5. I'm a 10 on the Brannock, and I think I'd go with exactly that. I don't think I'd go up or down. So half a size up from Brannock, or mostly your usual sneaker size, because I wear sneakers that are 10.5 to 11 sometimes. So if it like sneakers, buy your sneaker size, half size up from Brannock. Oh, I don't have the insole in. Let's try it with the insole in. That might change sizing. Now with the insole in, does it change sizing? Nope. That still feels pretty good. Definitely snugs it up more. It does change the size by maybe like half size, quarter size. That still works though. I'd be totally fine with that. Because they're designed to have the insole in them, so it doesn't really change sizing too much. It's definitely more snug. But I would still stick with that. Go half size up from Brannock, true to your sneaker size. You have both options with the insole and without. So pretty good. Check out Warfield and Grand. Good stuff. High quality stuff for a really affordable price. And I really do want to start getting into dress boots. So we'll probably start with the Great British Boot Off and start hitting this industry and seeing what's what. So check these guys out below. Thanks for supporting these unboxings and everything that we do and the collaborations, and it's just fun to do. It's fun to do this kind of stuff and be able to just BS about random boots that show up at the shop from time to time and get some of the fun out of recording videos, because sometimes those main channel videos are they're just not as fun as playing with knives, unboxing stuff. So I'll put links to these boots and the knives and some other videos similar to this below. So thank you guys. See you.